Ready for drinking? Drawing? What about laughing? Well, hold on to your donkeys. It's season 3 of the ComX Friday Night Drink and Draw. With your hosts Sizzle and Spedsy, plus Quick Nick, our esteemed regulars, and Australia's best-looking creators. Many of whom have books for sale at comx.shop. Now, let's get stanky.
We're almost at 100. ComX Drink and Draw Friday night, every Friday night, except the nights we're not here. And tonight's theme is Lord of the Rings. Now, I believe someone has something to say.
Yeah, I've got something to say.
Yeah,
I'll
go.
say it off the bat, straight off. Why the heck did you pick Lord of the Rings? It's too bloody big a subject. Too bloody big. You should have narrowed it down to something like Gandalf or The Hobbit or something like that. Lord of the Rings is just too much. You can't do it in one night. You should be doing it over about maybe a dozen nights, because then you can pick the individual characters. You could do something like that. It's just too big. Bloody, what's going on?
I'll tell you what it is, Dave. I can explain. It's like Lord of the Rings is trash, and it doesn't deserve more than one episode max.
Shots fired.
Wow. Yeah, straight out the gate with some venom tonight.
Yeah.
Sizzle, my man, thank you for having us. My name, Rob, aka Spedsy. Joining us tonight, I should say. I'm without my nicks. I got no nicks. I lean on my nicks. So filling in. And man, if there's anybody who could wear 4 shoes, fill 2 lots of shoes, it's my boy. It's Rosie's co-dad, Lee Chalker.
Hello. How are you?
And fresh off a dinner of some sort, it's Chris Pitcan.
Hello.
Alex, without
Hi,
Nick
Chris.
May here to keep you under wraps, well, it's going to be a challenging night tonight. How are you, sir?
I still don't like Lord of the Rings. But we
Hasn't changed in the 30 seconds since the beginning.
no. I'm doing okay. Except somebody keeps trying to hack into my Facebook. So if you're watching and you're hacking into my Facebook and you screwed with my Instagram last night, Dave's an army dude and he's on my side. Just saying. Although we don't agree on Lord of the Rings, but we still
I
got
know
each
why
other's
you don't
backs.
like Lord of the Rings, mate, because there's no pictures in it. There's three books and no
Yeah.
pictures. So I know that's what upsets you.
Yeah, but the movies have pictures in it. I didn't like that either.
All right.
Well, one man that actually, I believe, does like Lord of the Rings because he requested to be on this particular episode. It's he of Cornerbox Comics. It's Ryan Christopher. Hello, sir.
Howdy. Good to be
And
here.
the man with the bird's eye view that we love to watch draw. Now, no pressure, Dave, but Tom always manages to knock out 2, sometimes 3 epic drawings. So he'll probably draw the whole cast of the movie. It's Tom Tung. Hello, Tom.
Hey.
And the man with the second most amount of horses in Australian comics, it's Dave Dyer.
Well, as a man, he's number 1 because the number 1 person is not a man.
Oh, okay. But
Did I say the
second.
man? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. There you
And I
go.
just like to correct you on
wow.
equal second, because Kelsey's got a horse, so that's what equal second.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but Kelsey's you're not a man either.
No. All right.
So you're the number 1 man with a horse. Anyway.
Yes.
Now, a brother, a man who, likes to get color the hard way. He can smell what you're cooking. He's OmniBeau, Bo Roth. Welcome, sir, to the show.
The thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Thank you very much for having me tonight.
Hell yeah. What? Now, Sizzle. Now tonight's a big show. You wanted to, take us down this path, and I said to you, "You have my sword," and to which Lee, of course, then said,
yeah, you can borrow my axe as long as it comes back in the same condition that I lent it to you in.
And then Chris followed up with,
You have my frying pan?
to which Alex replied with,
Here's some bacon on that frying pan.
to which Ryan remarked,
I liked it, Precious.
which saw Tom exclaim,
Did someone say precious?
to which Dave Dye replied,
What's going on?
said both to say,
It doesn't matter what I said.
all right, I don't know what that was, but hey, Sizz, what do you call a hobbit party?
I have no idea.
A little get together.
A little.
Oh, my goodness.
Is it going to be one of those dad joke things?
Yeah,
Do we need to,
Yeah, I was going to go the dad joke route as well. Then.
That joke might have fallen a little bit short there.
Oh, yeah. With this angle, we can see Tom's hairy feet. All right, Sizz, tell me a little something about Lord of the Rings. What do you know? What do you like? What do you not like? And what character, if you had to nominate yourself as pick someone from the Fellowship or one of the bad guys, who are you in Lord of the Rings?
Good question. The main thing I know about Lord of the Rings is The Hobbit, to be honest. Because I had to read that at school. So I haven't seen the movies because I was told it'd been split into 3 movies. And I went, how? And just never got around to watching them. Mm-hmm. Apparently, I've watched the Lord of the Rings movies, but I don't remember them so much. I remember bits and pieces. I don't know why I don't remember them. I don't know if it was just something else was going on or I was drunk. Who knows? Yeah, maybe a drinking game. Every time someone said precious, I had to drink, and God knows how drunk I would have got on that one. But if I had to pick someone, I would say Gandalf. He's pretty cool.
You do have the grey beard for it. Are you Gandalf the grey or Gandalf the white? You
I'm not that. I haven't got that far. I'd be going grey.
Okay. Do you have a favorite quote or moment or whatever from the Hobbit or Lord of the Rings?
Favorite? Ooh. I think you're asking the wrong guy. Just when he puts the ring on and goes invisible, that was pretty cool when you find that out. Because you don't know that like when you first find that out, because it's like everywhere now. Everyone knows that that's what happens when you put the ring on, but so, oh, that's
what
special.
would you do if you had a ring that you could put on that made you invisible? What would be the first thing you would do as an invisible sizzle?
Invisible sizzle. I don't know. I just like the name, Invisible Sizzle.
Like, what sort of pranks would you play on Kerry?
None. I like to live. She'd find a way to see me. If I did anything wrong, there'd be trouble.
Yeah, she'd be like what is it when Frodo goes in there and those demony things can kind of see him? Is that like
the ring race?
What is it, Chris?
Ring race, Nazgul.
Funny thing is, the first thing that came to my mind was the Dementors from Harry Potter, and I was like, "That's not correct." Yeah. Hey, Lee Chalker, if you were a gangster hobbit, what would your name be? YOLO Swaggins. All right.
There you go. That'll do. I don't know, mate. I'm not much of a gangster. I'd probably go with, I don't know, maybe like Leroy something. I don't know. You know, it'd be pretty boring, I guess, man. Leroy will do. Yeah.
Do you have hairy feet?
No.
Okay.
No. All of my hair seems to have be protruding from my facial area, mate. Yeah, I'm pretty good like that. I'm rather slipstreamed, so Yeah.
Yeah, you're too tall for a hobbit, I guess, because we want to try and find in Australian comics who the whole Fellowship of the Ring is, and so I guess Ryan Vella would be one of the hobbits.
Oh man, yeah, without a doubt. Like he's about like 4 inches tall. Yeah, no, he's not very tall. In actual fact, he's the actual size of the artist called, the Prince. So that's what he tells you. When I first met him, I went, "Man, you're small." He's like, "Yeah, I'm the size of Prince." And so
he meant a fingerprints, like a fingerprint.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a Lord of the Rings fan?
I am, mate. Yes, very much so.
Tell us how far back it goes and what you like about it.
Loved reading fantasy novels. I was a big Dragonlance fella, and my uncle Stephen was a huge fantasy novel reader. And when I was about 10 or 11, we used to swap books. And a couple of the books he gave me were The Lord of the Rings split into the 3 books, and The Hobbit. I didn't really take to The Hobbit, but The Lord of the Rings had me hooked. So after that, I ended up going out and finding the Ralph Bakshi, I think that's how you pronounce it, animated film, which was on VHS at my local video store, and which was all rotoscoped and stuff like that, and very different imagery to what you see in the movie and stuff, but still awesome. And then it got halfway through, and obviously I thought it was to be continued. Little did I know that was like about 1988, and the movie itself had come out in about 1976, and there was no chance of the follow-up, because they'd run out of money. And I guess I just sort of, it's in the back of your mind. And then old Peter Jackson, dropped Fellowship of the Ring, and from that particular point on, I probably watched that film about, I don't know, probably 100 times while I was drawing back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a pretty big fan. Yeah. I've got lots of toys. I own film cells from the actual film that are all framed in the house, that are all framed up and stuff. I've got a whole heap of the toys that are unboxed. Oh man, I got stacks of Lord of the Rings stuff actually, mate. So different editions of the books, heaps of stuff. So
all right, well let's test your knowledge here with a trivia question.
Oh yeah.
How many rings of power were made for the elves, dwarves, and men?
Man, from memory, I'm probably going to be very wrong here, but I know it's in the high teens, because there was 11 for the men, 3 for the elves, maybe from memory, maybe 16, 17, something like that.
3 for the elves, 7 for the dwarves, and 9 for the men.
There you go.
So close.
And then 1 ring to rule them all.
There you go.
Now, me having not really read it and watched the movies a long time ago, what is the deal with the rings? So they've all got these rings, and then there's 1 ring to rule them all. So what, these rings have power by themselves? These the 3 elves rings and stuff?
Yeah, they do. They were gifts because Sauron was a manipulator, and he changed his appearance into like a heavenly type elf, and came in and presented all of the rulers of varying the elves, the top-notch ones, and the humans and all that sort of stuff. Presented them as gifts, and he had the 1 ring, and that was through that he was able to manipulate these other elves and turn them, and some turned and some did not. The ring wraiths that Chris was mentioning, the Nazgul, were all human kings that and because humans are easily manipulated, they became the ring wraiths. So you got your Witch King of Agmar and the other dudes that are running around, and they're his main men. But the elves, Galadriel, and I can't remember who the others are. I think Elrond might have been one. They all sort of swapped from time to time, man. But I think Galadriel, I think Gandalf at one point may have held one. and passed it on. Like it's a whole heap of lore in it, man. It's pretty tricky. It's been a while since I've read it, so I don't exactly remember. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good actually, because it's like I haven't thought about it in a while, man. Like I'm trying to remember back to the books, you know, because the books are like really detailed, man. Like and then you got your appendices, and then you got all of the writings that Tolkien's son Christopher Tolkien brought together to extend it, that went into the history, and then you got the Silmarillion, like, which is, you know, like the start, and then with all the TV shows and like the Rings of Power, and they sort of all slightly tweaked it and changed it, you sort of get lost with what the actual facts of the book are in comparison to what the movies and films, you know, have translated. So I'm a bit hazy on some of the things, but yeah, very detailed.
Yeah, right.
Well
why do you think
6 months?
What's that?
Well worth a read if you got 6 months, mate.
Yeah. Why do you think Gandalf was always smoking that pipe? Could it be because he had a bad hobbit? Seriously, the best. All
right. Yeah, I've been thinking about that one for a while.
Chris,
did you write these or the improv?
Oh, mate, these are all just off the dome. Just like
because the eyes are looking down. So I have a feeling this is like this has been prepared like full.
Yeah, I'm reading off a list, and I feel like I've used the best ones. The Gangster Hobbit, YOLO Swaggins. All right. Anyway, Chris, you were nodding your head as though you know some Lord of the Rings stuff too.
A little bit. My dad first read The Hobbit to me when I was 4.
Good dad.
By the time I'd gotten to year 3, which would have been about 8 or 9, I'd read it 2 more times by myself. And I actually got in trouble because we had a little book that had an excerpt from The Hobbit and a bunch of questions with it. And I turned to the teacher and I said, "These questions are wrong. Whoever wrote these hasn't read the book."
How old were you?
Probably a bit too young to be saying that to the teacher. But yeah, no, I've read The Hobbit many times. I've read The Lord of the Rings a couple of times. I think 3 or 4 times. I have read The Silmarillion. Good God, that was a journey. But yeah, and watched the films and the the extended DVDs and all the behind the scenes stuff more times than I can count. So yeah, big fan of the series. But yeah, in preparation and in anticipation for a further question, I did some very specific research on whether or not there were mermaids in Lord of the Rings. And the answer is maybe. So there's a book series that was collated by Tolkien's son that was released later called The Book of Lost Tales. And a lot of them were Tolkien's kind of rough ideas for the mythology of Middle-earth, but then didn't quite make it into the final books. And in a couple of them, it talks about merpeople being the attendants of one of the Maya gods that created Middle-earth.
You're going deep lore here, man. These dudes are going to be like, Maya, what the hell is that? You know?
Yeah. They didn't quite make it in. There are references to foam spirits or foam fae, which is what they were called in the Book of Lost Tales. There's also, I think her name's pronounced Winan, who's the Maya of the ocean, who's described in a very similar way to how Tolkien described his original merpeople. But the biggest thing is that in the final Quenya lexicon, which is the dictionary of all the Elvish languages that he made, there is actually an Elvish word for mermaid. So I'm like, probably wouldn't have put that in if somewhere along the line, it wasn't part of the culture or the mythology. So that's what I'm saying. There are at least stories of mermaids in the world of Middle Earth.
Sweet.
And so, is it fair to say you're doing a Lord of the Rings inspired mermaid drawing tonight?
I was sorely tempted. But I decided to go a different route. Because Galadriel is my favorite, and so I'm doing a pick of her. But yeah, no,
Well,
I
so
was
I was
very
going to
tempted.
ask, so if you had to pick a character, if we are the Fellowship or the bad guys, if you had to pick a character to be, who would you be?
Well, if I could choose, I'd be Galadriel. But if I'm being honest, I'm Pippin. Easily distracted and obsessed with food. Like, when's second breakfast? We've only had one.
All right, are you ready for your trivia question? I think you might need a harder one.
Oh Lord! Don't give me a difficult one.
Was that a dad joke with an innuendo, or was it a question?
All right, here we go. During Bilbo's birthday party, who were tasked to wash the dishes for stealing some fireworks from the back of Gandalf's wagon?
Merry and Pippin.
Okay, there you go. Ding, ding, ding.
When you said difficult, I was like, oh god.
Well, I wasn't. Yeah. Well, the next one. See, Well, the next one was like I didn't understand it at all. Which, yeah. Anyway, there's one I'm saving for Alex, which is middle. Well, I think it's actually probably super easy. So I want Alex to feel at ease because we're not really playing in a subject that Alex enjoys. So, Alex.
Well, if I had choice between other ring-related fiction, I'd prefer Captain Planet or Green Lantern. Green Lantern has a ring, right? Oh no, he has a lantern.
I didn't know Captain Planet had a ring.
He doesn't. Captain Planet doesn't, but the other kids have, and they join powers. So it's not just not one precious ring; it's precious friendship with rings. That I can relate to.
What about the two DC characters, the boy and the girl who put their rings together? Power
Wonder Twins.
Wonder Twins.
Yeah, I like it better than Lord of the Rings. But actually, I remember I did go because I went to the opening of Lord of the Rings, the movie, and I was all hyped because I really enjoyed everybody dressing up and getting into it. So I was really being, and then I went and sat down. And then, like half an hour in, I just slept through the rest of the movie. And but I have nothing against other people enjoying Lord of the Rings. Like I don't hate its success. Like people love it. It's just not for me. Like just don't make me watch. I'm really bad with elf gobbledygook stuff. Like I haven't watched much of Game of Thrones either. Like the only thing I like from that fantasy genre is Golden Axe, the video game where you just go left to
that
right.
was wicked. There's no elves in Game of Thrones.
There isn't?
That's all
What's
regular.
that little short guy then?
No,
he's just a
short guy.
Challenged, like fellow, mate.
I thought he was like casted as that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's still some medieval
Alex, do you think there are elves in real life?
Sorry?
Do you think there are elves?
Explain an awful lot.
Right. Well, Alex, sword to your head, you have to pick one of the characters to play in the upcoming
I know.
reboot.
There's a character I really like. Yeah, I like the walking tree.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't know if he has a name or anything. And I
that's
there in
great.
a second because I actually seen all three of them in the cinemas, and I fell asleep through the first two and then the third one I just got really agitated because it just never ended. Like every time I thought it was an ending, and then it just went to another thing. I don't know why I did that though. Like if I didn't like the first movie, I don't know why I went to the other two.
Sad Spedsy story. Every Boxing Day since I was about 16, me and my buddies would get together and get on the beers and whatnot. And as we grew up, it became all our families got together and we'd, do Christmas presents and all that sort of stuff. Lord of the Rings came out, and so the morning of the Boxing Day we would go and see Lord of the Rings. We saw the first one, and then the year later we saw the second one, and then the year later I rocked up to the party and all the dudes are talking about Lord of the Rings and they didn't invite me. And I was like, oh, we didn't think you liked it. I'm like, bitch, I came to the last 2 years. What are you talking about? Haven't talked to them since.
No, these friends were probably got you and me mixed up.
Yeah. No, I have talked to them. I've seen them at every Boxing Day since, but I still that's an axe in my back. I have their
bad.
axe in my
You
back.
got Gollum.
Why are you still friends with these people?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, Alex, what is the name of the mountain where the Master Ring was made?
No, I don't want to go there.
Go there. All bets are off now. We don't know is anymore.
Actually, I have nothing. I just wanted to allude to something. I don't know. What is the name of the mountain? Is it Smeagol? Mount Smeagol?
Yeah, it was Mount Smeagol. That's right. Yeah, nailed it. Right next to
I'm
the
so
Valley of
angry
Gollum.
with me right now.
It was Mount Doom, of course, Alex.
Oh, Doom. Oh, I like
Yeah.
that game too. Not just Golden Axe.
Awesome. All right, Ryan. You wanted it. You got it. You're here. Let's talk about it. What do you got?
So I've been a big fan of Lord of the Rings through the movies rather than the books. I actually haven't read any of the novels. But that's just because I liked the way that the characters were presented through the films. I feel like that was my entry point. And the attempts that I've made to sort of delve into the fiction just haven't really given me what I wanted out of the story that I'd sort of come to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But it all sort of started with a Royal Senegal chess set that my uncle and aunt used to keep in their spare room that was Lord of the Rings related. So, like the pawns were all hobbits, and then, Aragon was the king of the white pieces, and Sauron was the king of the black pieces. And
was that made out of, like, the pieces were made out of pewter?
Yeah,
big marble,
they're real
like
heavy.
a marble chest, like big square.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we had one of them at our pawn store that I worked at about 12 months ago. And woo, Donsky, lots of money. Look good though. So good on your uncle and auntie, mate.
And originally I just liked the pieces, and then as I was learning to play chess at the same time, whoever I was playing with, usually one of my cousins, they'd sort of tell me the story of Lord of the Rings and like who the people were and what they did in the story and all that sort of stuff as I was learning to play. And like I was probably, I don't know, like 6-7 years old around this time. And then when the films came out, it was kind of like nerd nirvana in a way, because I'd always enjoyed, like I was a Golden Axe guy. Like I loved those games. So Sword and Sorcery, I'd grown up on like Conan the Barbarian and Red Sonja and stuff like that. And so I really enjoyed just having another sword and sorcery go-to.
My favorite bit was the movies was right at the when the movies came on DVD, was right at the sort of like when home theaters became a thing, and my mate had a big TV and he had surround sound, and we'd always play that bit where Sauron. Is it Sauron the guy at the start of the movie who's like big, grey-looking, jagged armor dude? And he does some big move where it goes wah, and takes out everybody in one go, and that wah was like epic sounding and sounded cool.
I love that. That's another thing that like is so great about these movies is like the scale of them. So you go and see them in the movie at the cinema, and this is why I love theaters that show movies in repertory. So like when you get those theaters that are like, hey, we're doing all 3 Lord of the Rings movies, you go and see them in the cinema, and you get an experience that you just don't get at home, because you get that true rich sound that even your home surround sound, your home surround sound's mixed at like 5.1. You go to the movies, it's like 70 point whatever. There's just so many layers in there that you get. Yeah.
Yeah, right. What character do you, in our gritty reboot that we're putting together, Ryan, who are you going to play?
Ooh, that is someone has to keep Chris company, and you can't have a Pippin without a Merry, so we'll go with that.
And you'll be climbing all over Alex's Groot.
Was that also a innuendo of the naughty kind, Rob?
Yeah.
Or is this another question?
Trees can't grow without roots, Alex. Hey.
Oh, Lord.
All right, Ryan, I'm going to try and go a bit difficult for your trivia question. Name the last war against the army of Mordor. Against the armies of Mordor. Name the last war against the armies of Mordor.
Oof. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
The last alliance of men and elves. That was it.
Oh, very uninspiring title of a war.
Yeah. Did you know that Treebeard and Gimli are played by the same guy?
There's a lot of cross
Amazing.
casting.
Pollination.
Yeah. Like there's a bunch of the dwarves from The Hobbit also play orcs across both the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies, and they play the trolls in the Hobbit, the Unexpected Journey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Tom, what do you got in the Lord of the Rings department? Big fan, small fan, medium fan, hairy foot fan?
Oh, look, I'm well, there's your hairy foot in the bottom of the corner if you need it.
Yeah.
But seen the films, haven't read the books. My most vivid memory of it is that I was outvoted at a movie night, and these friends watched all 3 extended Lord of the Rings back to back. And I think I was partway through Two Towers when I realized I was completely numb. And in one go, all 3.
Was it the uncut version or the director's
The uncut, like the extended editions.
Yeah. Oh no!
I don't remember much, but like I remember because
poor people.
I must have just been a terrible friend.
Yeah.
But I remember because by the time Return of the King was on, and these are my friends were hardcore Tolkien fans, and I remember they were basically crying at everything from the book that wasn't in the main films. And I remember I think it's the mouth of Sauron comes out, and they were like, "Oh my God, it's the mouth of Sauron! I'm so happy!" And I was like, "Okay, that's really cool, guys. That's awesome."
Tom, Return of the King or Return of the Jedi?
Return of the King or Return of the Jedi? Return of the Jedi was my first Star Wars film, so I'm going to go Jedi.
Yeah, rightio. And now, Tom, if in our gritty reboot of Lord of the Rings, starring only Australian Aussie comic book creators, who are you playing?
Oh, I'll be any of the characters that you can't fill the spots. My partner and I were talking before, and we were trying to work out which of the Fellowship I could be. And so you've got Legolas, who's got a very clear and crisp voice, and then you got Gimli and his axe. And then you have... hang on, I was trying to do my Gandalf before the show, and I've got to see if I can remember the quote. What is it? It's, "Oh, yes.
Oh, no!
Fly, you fool!
That's when Gandalf died, and then so Tom's come back as Gandalf the White now.
Yes, now I am back. And yeah, and of course, and then I suppose I could do a Samwise Gamgee as well if you need him. You know, I'll make some potatoes for you. Potatoes, and then I'll toss Smorgle and Gollum.
Do
Tom,
you,
really
do
good
you
at
have an Aragon
impersonations.
in there? Like if you have to do we're like, Tom, we need you as the leading man.
I need Aragon. I don't know if he's got a softer but more reassuring, commanding voice.
Yeah.
I am the true son of Gondor. No, where's Aragon from? Gondor.
Gondor's a bird, isn't it?
Gondor's where he's going to become king.
Yes, Gondor.
You're on the right track. Tom, just don't stop, man. Just keep going. It's like
Keep
so
going.
entertaining, mate. You've got me hooked. I like this version of The Lord of the Rings.
But yes, so look, I'm hopefully my partner's dad is a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and I've had many late night lessons in Middle Earth history, and I hope I'm not getting anything wrong.
No, I think you're doing fine, Tom. I really
I'm going to get the trivia question wrong, I'm sure.
All right, well, brace yourself.
All right.
What is Bilbo's relationship to Frodo?
Bilbo is Frodo's nephew? No, Bilbo is Frodo's uncle, isn't he?
Gardener.
He's a gardener.
Frodo is Bilbo's second cousin.
Second cousin, rat.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there you go.
I'm ashamed of myself.
I'm trying to find an Aragon quote so I can put myself up for the Aragon role.
Yes, please do.
But all I can find is there's a Boromir one. Like I just want to do like the one does not simply walk into Mordor. Well, that was a bit. I don't know. That's all right. I'm trying. I'm going to try for Aragon. Here we go. So who was Pippin? Was it Chris? Were you Pippin?
Yep.
Can you ask me what about breakfast?
What about breakfast?
Haven't you had that already?
We've had one, yes. What about second breakfast?
Holy moly! That is. Kudos, man. Kudos.
I think he said a second breakfast.
And
all
then
right,
he throws
Dave.
2 apples.
That was amazing, Chris. Dave, let's talk Lord of the Rings. You are drawing an epic scene I do recall from the movies.
Yeah, I was trying to remember today think of what I was going to draw tonight, and I thought this scene sort of came to me, and I was wondering where it came from because it must be from the movie, I think. I dug out the books, so I've read the books, of course, and I much prefer them to the movies. I watched the movies I just couldn't believe. What's that echo?
That'd be the shock of the people in the crowd saying that someone here agreed that the books are good, mate, you know?
Yeah. So I had to look through here, and I found the page that relates to this scene here.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you dare read it for us, Dave?
Oh, well, it's
just a small passage.
Okay, what do we got here?
But Dave, do it like Tom did. I want to hear several different voices, mate. I want to hear Dave Guy's interpretation.
I can only do narrator voice, but never as smooth as Tony Menzies.
Oh, Dave, don't sell yourself short, mate.
Around the corner came a black horse, no hobbit pony, but a full-sized horse, and on it sat a large man who seemed to crouch in the saddle, wrapped in a great black cloak and hood, so that only his boots in the high stirrups showed below. His face was shadowed and invisible. And that's one paragraph. So anyway, we won't go on.
If you played the narrator and Tom did the voices, me and Tom. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Even though I think my Aragon sounded like he was from the Wild West, but we'll work on it. We'll fix it in post.
One thing I couldn't get over with the bloody movie and drove me crazy was Sam and bloody Frodo's man love affair with each other. And Sam
Romance.
would go, Frodo. And Frodo would look at him and go, Sam. And they'd look at each other, mooning each other with their eyes. Oh, Frodo. Oh, Sam. Oh,
Move over, Tom. We've got a new voice artist on the show.
Oh, that is excellent.
It'll just go on and on.
I'm enjoying this.
This
voiceover thing makes the movies look even more trash. I love this.
I have to say though, when you think about it, Sam's the man, because Sam's the only one that held the ring and maintained contact with said ring for a prolonged period of time, that never once was like turned or even like thought about turning. So the dude was pure, and he's really, when you think about it, everyone else went about their jobs and did all their stuff, but Sam was the main man. And not even Al or anyone else, could stop the power, but he did, just out of the goodwill of his heart, and the love of his mate, and trying to do his thing. So Sam's cool dude, man.
So Dave, I'm Frodo and you're Sam, and we already know you refuse to hug me. So would you like? So I'm starting to falter under the weight of this ring. Would you pick me up and carry me, or is that too much man on man touching?
I'd do that
for
to anyone, mate.
You would?
Of course I would. If you
when I'm wrapped in the...
Rob's going to cuddle you back.
Look, when things are desperate, you got to get that close to someone. I guess you got to do it.
And when I'm wrapped in the spider web and I'm looking like I'm going to die, would you cry for me, Dave?
Well, I'd cry for Argentina. I guess I'd cry for you too.
I was just thinking.
Did you cry for Argentina, Dave, or you just wanted to make that reference because it was made in Hungary?
I thought it sounded like a good spot to slip it in, mate.
Yeah.
Looking for a nice spot to slip it in.
Easy.
I appreciate the reference, Dave.
Dave, what edition of those books have you got? Because I feel like you've got copies that I was going to say been through the war. You look like you took them to war with you.
No, this was given to me by a mate back in the 70s.
Was his name J.R.R. Tolkien?
No, his name was Ring. His last name was Ring. Nick Ring. Can you believe that?
What was his name? Mick Ring?
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, that was back in the 70s. I got those. But these were good because they got all the appendices in them.
I had my appendix taken out when I was younger.
Yeah, me too. I did too when I was about 8, so I'm hoping to find it in here somewhere. Maybe in book 2.
You know what they said to me, Dave? I said, when can I go home? And they said, as soon as you poop. So I sat on the toilet and I held my stitches and I forced out the smallest nugget. And I was home within 2 days, which is, in those days, no small feat. Like we're talking, in 1784, they cut me open with a hot iron pike. Not like these days where it's keyhole surgery and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The best stories, man.
All of that was true except the hot iron pike. I believe it was a scalpel.
And this was in 1784, so the date's correct as well.
Oh yeah, that bit. That bit was false too.
What else is false, Rob? What's going on here? Do you still have your appendix?
It wasn't a small nugget, Alex. It was a ginormous turd, mate. So there you go.
I thought you're going to be just like straight up liquid diarrhea. But...
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean, just in time for the poop talk. You made it.
Yeah, nice timing.
He's going to switch off straight
all the way from Mackay.
All right, Dave. What was the riddle that Gandalf could not figure out to open the door?
Oh, I remember him. I remember the scene. Only those true of heart can go through, or something like that. Was it? I can't remember the riddle.
Speak, friend, and enter.
Speak, friend, and enter. So you had to say friend. Yeah.
That's right. Is that it, Chris? Is that what you had to do?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty
the Elvish
simple.
word for friend.
That's a pretty simple riddle. Speak friend and enter. Friend. Ah, you
But
got
you
it.
had to say it in that language too, though. You couldn't just say friend in English or hobbit. You had to say it in the language that he was reading, I think. Is that right,
Yep.
Chris?
Yep.
Yeah. It was an ancient language. These ancient runes. Only Gandalf could read them, really.
Ah, there you go. Therein is the trick.
Yeah.
All right, Bo. You have my bow. You'd have to be Legolas just by your name and your long hair, right? How are you at scaling elephants? Has that ever been a thing?
I tried to scale an elephant once and it didn't work out too well. So I honestly thought that I would definitely be more of a golem, if I'm being honest. I think that would. I think I could pull that off really, really well. I don't know about the haircut. I don't know if I'd be cool with that, but I'd give it my best shot. Precious.
All right. What do you have, Bo, in your world that is your precious? If you had to, outside of your lady friend, a material, whatnot, what would be your precious?
Jeez, you know what, man? I mean, it's going to have to be an omnibus, isn't it?
Well, that goes without saying, I feel.
Yeah, so it'd have to be the first appearance of Ben Reilly omnibus, which is Spider-Man Clone Saga Volume 1. If there was a Firebird, all that sort of talk, that's the one I'd go.
Yeah. So have you insured on your house insurance? Have you listed that you've got a whole bunch of omnibuses and whatnot?
No.
Do that. Do it.
Yeah, I've been
house and contents. List it.
Yeah. Thanks, Spedsy. Thanks, man.
Yeah. I don't intend to burn your house down, but just in case. In case I'm in the area and this will be a hilarious prank. Bo, do you like the Lord and his rings?
Yeah, I do actually. I've never been a huge fan and loved it, but since meeting my partner, I've really found a new love for it because she's a big fan of it. She has an elvish tattoo, and for about 3 years or so, she was like, "We've got to watch them all. We've got to watch them all." And we did. We ended up watching all the Hobbits and the Lord of the Rings. I'm going to tell you, man, I really enjoy them. As far as the books, I tried reading the books when I was a young kid. I couldn't do it. I wanted to because I just knew it was my jam, but I just couldn't do it. So I ended up grabbing a Hobbit book that was like this big illustrated version, and it was like a big thick. It wasn't a trade like a comic, but I guess that's what you'd call a trade. Anyway, that got me reading The Hobbit, and I loved that. So I think it's all cool, man. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Weird question. You and Claudia, you're on a holiday. You walk into a pawn shop. Lee's behind the counter. What a coincidence. Hey, man. Lee shows you this secret lamp that is in the corner, and he says, don't touch it. Apparently, it's, it has a... And anyway, first thing you do, touch it. You and Claudia are warped into Middle Earth. You find yourself smack bang in the middle of the Middle Ages. What's the first thing you and Claudia do?
Yeah, all right. Come
What's
on.
the second thing Bo and Claudia do? Well, I mean, being the responsible partner, I guess I'd have to look for shelter and food, wouldn't I? I mean, if I was alone, I guess I'd run and look for animals. That'd be my first instinct. I don't know why.
Right. Well, while you are doing that, you hear hundreds of hooves as an army of orcs comes over the horizon.
Oh, yeah, okay. Am I meant to say what happens now?
Yeah, what do you do?
Oh, I'm charging in, baby. I'm charging in. I'm saying you stay there. It looks crazy, but just trust me. I've been planning for this for years, and I'm.
All right, so you armed only with the Ben Reilly omnibus in your hand, you charge into battle against 100 orcs.
Oh, now my agility.
Oh, plus sorry, of course, I forgot about your agility. So using your agility, you managed to dodge the first 1.5 horses, and then you are brutally murdered.
Okay.
And it's up. Then Claudia becomes queen of the universe because she quickly, welcomes her orc overlords, and then they immediately like C-3PO, just like she's a god. And had you not just charged in, Bo, you went war first. These were peaceful orcs until you charged them swinging in omnibus.
Well, as Brian Adams once said, everything I do for you. And I knew that doing that would make you the queen of the universe. I am the partner in the world.
Wow. There it is. That's
Beautiful.
how you win Spedsy Dungeons and Dragons live on the something or others. All right. Shall we take a look at some artwork that has come in, Sizz?
Yes, we shall. Just got to find it. Here we go. Hugh McGowan sent this one in.
Oh,
very good.
fresh.
Very good, mate.
Really good.
Everyone see that?
Now, what's going on in the crotch department? Is it tucked underneath him? Does he have a smaller precious?
It's a hard question there, Rob.
It's hard, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He could be wearing the ring. And it's invisible.
Oh, a cock ring.
What?
I don't know what the rules are anymore. We used to say let's not swear. But it's,
I was going to say they're going out the window. I'm just following suit.
Yeah. Chris
Somewhere.
All right. One ring to rule them all.
There you go.
What else we got?
Okay, I'll get back to the art. Hang on. And Neil Blandon sent this one in.
Yeah, Neil.
I like this one a lot. But why is there 69 in the ring?
It's on theme.
I like, see, Hugh, he went the loincloth. So
Yeah.
we left to our imagination.
Maybe it was one.
Alex has killed
Your
Bo.
broken bow. Darren Huddy sent this one in.
Well, let's go, Darren.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that
Very
Kate, played
nice,
by Kate
Darren.
Blanchett? Is that who you like, Chris?
Yeah, Galadriel.
Galadriel. Good for
Very
keeping
cool
your
character.
food
Liv
fresh.
Tyler's
too.
in this movie too.
Galadriel.
Hmm.
What's that, Alex?
Liv Tyler's in this movie too.
Mm-hmm.
Liv
Oh,
Tyler, daughter of
Yeah,
Steve
yeah.
Tyler from Aerosmith. Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
She not famous anymore? Is the kid?
Well,
the
she
kid's
was
not-
conceived when Steven Tyler made Love in an Elevator.
not hanging up on this gun.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
And for, I was going to say with the Darren Huddy one there as well, we got to see the progress of that from each step along the way as he created that in the
Correct.
Discord channel. So yeah, so for any crazy out there want to join, come along,
Yeah.
share your
Very good.
wares and so forth.
Yeah.
Nick May, who is missing from tonight, send a picture in at least. At least he did
Oh,
something
nice.
right.
He got the shoes right as well.
Nick.
The face is a bit
Right.
different to his normal style, right?
Very good, mate.
Trying to
Really? Tell
bridge
us,
the-
Alex. What are you thinking? What's different
What's his
about
normal
it?
style?
I don't know. Just got like just the
Knuckles?
No, the face. No, it's like it's
Really?
just looks. Yeah, it looks a bit more different to what he normally draws.
Okay.
Really?
Not bad. Not. Yeah, I think so. No, it's his because of the knuckles and the Converse shoes. Anyways, I like
sure?
it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry.
So I'm just
Nick.
having fun here 'cause I'm downloading the
I'm trying,
picture.
I'm trying to make a compliment, but normally, like the eyes, he draws eyes differently. No.
Oh, that feels very Nick May eyes.
Yeah, maybe I'm just new to the show. I'm sorry, guys. I'm new here. I don't know what's going on.
That was awesome, Nick. You shall not pass on being on the show.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's best I just shush. What we got next?
we've got Rob O'Connor, who has done a bit of scenery.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Oh,
Very
nice.
Rob. Very
Oh,
nice
sorry about that.
indeed.
Oh, very nice.
hell yeah. Why has that got a 69
Oh.
on it as well?
What go?
It does.
If you look
Behind
hard
the
enough,
door.
there's always a 69 to be found.
Yeah, true.
Except on
Next, we
Party
have
Business.
Davo77.
Davo.
Woo,
No, he turned
name the
78
character.
last week. Yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Sizzle
Oh,
with
yeah, what's his
red
name?
beards.
Dwarf. Dwarf bloke.
And my axe. That does have a Sidrus
That's
kind
good,
of
mate.
a thing going on.
Very
Does a bit,
good.
doesn't it? And my personal favorite here, Davo did 2 pictures tonight.
Yeah.
Good old Davo77 did Frodo wearing the ring. Classic. Classic.
Yeah.
Thanks, Davo.
Well
Nailed it.
done, mate.
That must have taken you
Thanks, Davo.
ages.
Yeah.
It's a masterful use of negative space, too.
Yeah, yeah. And Paul Bugger's got to follow this up. Dan May.
Oh, that's
Oh,
really
Oh,
nice.
yeah. Wow.
How cool's that?
Yeah.
That's good, mate. Well done, Dan.
Hey, Tom, are you familiar with Star Wars: The Clone Wars?
A little bit.
That's kind of got to be in its Christopher Lee, right? See that?
Yes, yeah.
A Dooku in the Clone Wars.
It
sort of
does a
look?
little bit of that vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thought that was
Yeah.
cool.
Wizard.
Yeah.
And
Nice
the
work,
true
Dan.
star of the movie, as
Three.
Rannon has shown us,
Potatoes. Well, that's a good looking potato.
It is.
it is. I'm impressed.
You can make a few chips out of that sucker.
I'll just draw on that.
We knew we're on to you. Travis Richardson has sent in one of his, doing the countdown to 100.
Wow. Oh,
Wow.
Right, Trav.
Oh,
wow.
nice.
Yeah. Well
Nice.
done.
Awesome.
There's your reference. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, there's his reference.
Or your not reference, it's
A homage.
inspiration or something.
Inspiration,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, it's a good point. Road to
Wow, that's
100.
good, mate.
Wow. That's
That's
really
exciting.
cool,
What
Trav
has he got?
Dog.
Packets is precious. Yeah, but yes, we must have.
So is that next episode or when is? Oh, we're 98 now, so 2 more to go.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
98. Spedsy!
Very good, mate.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Okay, mate. Yeah,
Column.
that's good. You got a good likeness.
Mm.
Yeah, your
I just looked
background's
in the mirror,
different.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
was
do
gonna
something
say
with the
something like
background?
that.
Or?
What'd you say, Alex? Good likeness of trees.
No, I didn't say that. Just different background technique. That's all. Normally
Yeah.
it's flat.
You're just bursting with compliments tonight, Alex.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, but nobody's taking it as a
Oh, that
compliment. It's
background's
really-
normally flat.
That's an awesome compliment.
Well, I
Yeah,
meant it
It's
as
made
a,
through the
I-
face different.
I didn't mean it in a bad way. You know,
Or a good way.
I have platonic love towards Nick May.
Is it
Next
romantic
up.
love towards me or?
It's more of a lust, but it's not even like it's just like just like I need to get it out of the system
Sweet.
kind of thing.
All right, Mr. Saddle Slap, Robbie Donaldson.
Yeah, Robbie. Oh, very good. Daytime Palantir. Never anything good on. Very good, mate.
That's awesome.
Is that a cooking show in his orb?
Yeah.
I know. Let's have a look. I think it is.
Oh, it is.
Oh my god, is it
Is
Sam
that the
making
chef?
potatoes?
Isn't it a Swedish chef?
Chris, a challenge. Find another time in your life to use the sentence, is that a cooking show in his orb? just work it into. You've got 80 years. Just work it in somewhere.
That's a very generous estimation. Oh,
You know
Lord,
what?
80 years.
He's got a cooking show in his orb. Right. Oh,
Oh,
it's time
lovely.
to pull the plug on Chris. He's finally lost
Oh,
his
Lord.
orb.
He's finally done it.
Of the
Finally.
rings.
Yeah.
True.
Oh, Lord.
It's becoming quite a. It wouldn't be a Friday night without some Tony Menzies.
Mm.
Ooh.
Nice. Yeah.
How did he get Sinestro's ring?
See, if this wasn't a Lord of the Rings show, I would have guessed this was like an Infinity Blade thing.
Infinity Blade.
Yeah, it was like a game for iPhone. It had things like that in it, and you'd swipe and then fight and stuff.
Oh, I don't know of that one.
Nobody remember?
Yeah, I
Like
don't know.
it was like a really cool looking iPhone game, and you just swipe on it. It looked like it had like these Gears of War metal, whatever.
Oh, you mean Infinity Blade?
Yeah.
Nah.
Isn't that what
Oh, hey. You guys are talking. Do you mean? Are you guys talking about Infinity Blade?
Anyways, that's what I thought it was. Obviously, I'm not on the same planet as you guys. Oh.
Alex, have you got a cooking show in your orb?
No, it's not even that. It's just some 90s sitcom. I think it's Mr. Ed.
Oh, nice. Ryan Christopher has sent one in. Looks like he's still working on one, so we might be getting two from Ryan.
Good on you, Ryan.
Oh, so this is a from The Hobbit, right? This is one of the.
Yeah, it's my favorite dwarf.
Ryan's
What's his name?
Balin.
Ah.
All right.
He's sort of the right hand man to Thorin Oakenshield. The one his voice of reason.
Oh, okay. Wow, awesome.
And I'm currently, I wanted to see if I could fit all 13 dwarves on one piece of A5 paper. So.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Geez, moving quick.
Oh, hang on, I'll move this one. Do it again.
Show us again, Ryan.
Blurry.
And working on it.
There we go.
Oh, look at that!
Oh yeah, nice.
Okay. Where are you getting the reference for that, mate?
Just from publicity stills,
Right.
and then trying to do something a little different with them rather than copy the still. So it's really just a extra bit of practice for myself. Plus, it's kind of like I just love drawing dwarves for some reason.
So I got a question, Ryan. So like after the third or fourth dwarf, did you go like, shit, I wish we were doing Snow White?
No, because these ones are more fun.
You don't like Droopy?
Yeah, but that's you got one of them's got a personality, really, or two, Droopy and Grumpy, and then you got a bunch of other ones that no one really cares about.
Yeah, I mean we're all droopy as we get older, unfortunately. Oh Lord.
Okay, so we've got Chris Picton's picture.
Hey,
Beautiful. Oh, it's on, Chris.
Put it up again. I can't see it.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Very good, Chris. Very nice, mate.
That's beautiful.
Well done.
She's so pretty.
Well done.
And speaking of people who couldn't be here tonight, sorry.
No, I was just saying Fox and Hound is on.
Fox and Hound
issue 5 is on Kickstarter right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about it in the end segment, but yeah, worth a look if you like seeing Chris drawing pretty ladies. And Fox and Hound is where it's at.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot more naughty than I imagined. I was like a fox and a hound.
No, it's what I imagined. Another person didn't turn up tonight has sent in a picture. The other Nick.
Quickless.
Oh, I got the shakes. I'm pushing the photo.
Right.
Oh, nice. Why is that one Jewish?
He's
Wow.
even got his guide to drawing them by the look of it. The shapes.
Yeah.
I
of
think it's
them.
like sort of like showing the shape that they're. Who's
Yeah.
is that Gandalf the oval guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Wow.
very good.
Looks like Gollum was like, I'm running out of time. I'm not going to color this one in. That's awesome, Nick. I like
good.
Gimli the best out of those, I think.
Cool. And I'll just double check. I've got nothing new come in.
I'll send you one, man. Check your messenger in a sec.
Who's ready for a? Who wants just a random trivia question?
Yes,
How
please.
many members of the Fellowship died during the adventure in the trilogy?
I've got to guess 7.
Technically,
1 from Lee, 2 from Chris. Chris, who
technically
you got?
2.
Yeah, that's
Well-
true. Technically,
Boromir died, but also Gandalf died. It's just he
Yeah.
came back.
Oh, so this says
I was
2,
gonna say
Boromir
one.
and Aragon.
Aragorn didn't die.
Aragorn didn't.
He dies
die.
eventually, but he didn't die during the adventure.
I don't know what to tell you, but
Everyone dies eventually, Chris.
2, Boromir and Aragon. Well, now I can't trust this at all.
Unless they're doing a spin that Aragorn ended up. What was his name when he became king? He stopped being Aragorn when he became king. Became like Allendale, or I can't remember.
Aragon
He
to
had
the
a
shops.
human name when he became king.
All hail the king.
Nice. Yeah, I can't remember that. But I do think you're right. But no, Aragorn is very much alive at the end of it. Like, how else did he get crowned? They didn't prop him up and
Weekend at
his head's
Bernie's.
falling off.
That's exactly what I was
style.
thinking. Weekend and Bernie's, except
Yeah.
for Gandalf's. The Weekend at Gandalf's.
Yeah, that is weird.
Cool. We want to look at the last, well, not the last
Yeah,
two
let's do
pieces,
it.
but 2 more pieces. We got Tom's.
Oh, yeah,
Good one.
Tom.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, he's putting the ring on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one, Tom.
Oh, no, I'll try and take it off. I can't.
That's the.
Looks like he's
Yeah,
trying to
right.
take it off. Looks like he's trying to go through a
I think it was meant to be like a pulling off thing, like he's freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see him now.
I remember that scene where he gets seen. Yeah, of course.
Of that.
I see you.
Is that when they're on top of the hill? They're
they're in
camping
the
on top of
tavern.
the hill that night.
Yeah. They're in a tavern and like he's like scurrying across the floor.
There's
Oh,
that,
in the
but there was the one.
tavern.
The scene you're talking about, Dave, is when they're on Weathertop, which is an old
Yeah, that's right.
Numenorean outpost that got smashed up.
Yeah.
And in the book, from memory, when Frodo puts the ring on there and he looks up and he can see the ring wraiths, I'm pretty sure from memory, Aragorn has actually got a gold aura around him as described in the books. So Aragorn straight up to Frodo was already like, who is this dude? I'm seeing these shadow guys, but then there's Aragorn. Like Aragorn didn't have a crown or anything. He just had it described as a yellow aura around him. So it was light versus dark. And so early on, you sort of knew Aragorn was something a little bit different, you know?
Yeah.
They didn't
A
put that
hunted
in the
man
movie.
sometimes wearies of distrust and longs for friendship. Oh, me, I'm still auditioning.
Question to Tom.
Whoa.
Tom, what's that?
Please.
in the background? What kind of weapons? That's a beautiful drawing.
That's my version of the Witch King of Angmar, because I haven't seen him for a long time, but I like to just put a spin on things. And I've got one of these big ass trees, the plants out the back, and I'm always laughing at my mum. You know the spiky trees that, you know, like they got the spike at the end. And my mum always walks into it, and I always go, "Mum, stop walking in the tree." And as I was walking down the granny flat tonight, I walked into it, and I thought, like, so that's the story behind that. But anyway, so
Looks awesome.
Wow. Yeah, it's wicked. All right, Alex, what were you going to say?
I was going to ask Tom, what's that in the background? Because you look, you got weapons.
Yeah, Super Sentai weapons and morphers and stuff.
Cool. So have you beaten anybody up with it before? Is there...
Not that I can admit to.
Yeah, not
on record.
You think Tom Tung is my real name?
No, it's just your... Do you think Ichigo Smell is my real name?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do your Dave thing, music?
Oh yeah, what? Yeah, how come we haven't checked in with Dave? What's going on?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
We haven't been gas bagging too much. What we got, Dave? We got Harry Potter hiding from the Dementors.
Yeah, something like that. I just realised the horse should be black, so I've just because it was white a second ago, and I just quit.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, I thought that was me.
No.
Have I gone? Have I?
Oh, you're back.
No,
now.
you're back now.
Oh, yeah, mate.
Yeah, so I just realised that this horse should be black, so I'm quickly trying to jam some shadows in here for it.
Cool.
Wow.
It looks like one of the Hobbit comics that I've found in fairs and stuff. It looks really good.
Oh, yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, I didn't know there was a Hobbit comic.
I found one the other day in a bargain bin. It was great.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Oh, actually, I saw Claudia just a second ago mention to you, Sis, that there's a comic.
Yeah, I saw that too, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's a short read.
Yep.
Yes.
Of course.
Cha-ting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, g'day, man.
Yeah.
Is that because there's not much words in it, or is this a play on this fact that hobbits are short?
I think we should leave that to you, Alex.
A fun fact for fans of black metal, Alex's ears just pricked up. Lots of bands take inspiration from Lord of the Rings and Tolkien in their stage names and naming their bands. Burzum, for example, means darkness in the black speech of Mordor.
Did you also know that Christopher Lee, who plays Saruman, at about the age of 87, made a heavy metal, black metal album, and you can get that on Spotify.
Oh, no
Did
way.
you know that Christopher Lee was the only member of the cast that had actually met J.R.R. Tolkien?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, his life ambition was to, like, apparently, according to him, it was all about his whole career was preparing for the day that he would one day play Gandalf on film. And then by the time the film came around, he was too old to do it. And that's why they cast him as Saruman.
All right.
Bummer.
Christopher Lee, of course, also famous for when he was trying to get out of his house quicker. He was less windows, more door.
Sorry, I do have a question for everybody here, the actual Lord of the Ring fan, because I'm more of a Ralph Bakshi fan because I like Fritz the Cat and Mighty Mouse that he did. So, and not much has been brought up about his take on Lord of the Rings. Like I saw bits and clips.
Brought
It's
it
not
up.
funny. Yeah, you brought it up, but it was just in passing. I don't know if anybody else a big fan or.
I haven't watched it.
Times, man, it's cool. It's totally different aesthetic though. Like everyone looks different. Like Boromir's like a barbarian dude, and Aragorn's like got this weird black mullet and he's clean shaven, and yeah.
Oh, that sounds bad.
No, it's not bad.
No,
It's
Aragorn to get a
different.
haircut.
Like you're used to the movies, and you go and watch this old, like cartoon rotoscope thing. Then it's very different. Translation of the characters in the time, man. So that may throw you off, but it's still the Lord of the Rings. It's just you've got to, obviously Rolf had a different theatre going in his mind for what he wanted to portray.
Because I know that he, I read about him in an interview with him where he talked about how he made that film, and he filmed the whole thing's filmed live action, as of course it's rotoscope. But yeah, he made the more costumes as well. So he had like the hobbits with the little feet and stuff. So he had all these costumes made, and then it just went. he also did Fire and Ice, which is another rotoscope cartoon.
Yeah. That's a good movie. Did you also know that back in the day, the Beatles wanted to make the Lord of the Rings before?
No, I don't know that.
That was
Lord
an
of the
idea
Rings
floated around.
Let's make the Lord of the Rings, Ringo.
Yeah.
And then Tolkien said, "Not metal enough."
I don't know. I wasn't there for that meeting, mate.
You weren't?
No, sadly. I wasn't
I
there.
slept in that morning. I have one question. This man's art.
Yeah, Omni.
Oh, no, no. You know, I have made some weird concoctions tonight that I am way too embarrassed to be showing the public.
All the more reason to show them.
Okay, so I could have sworn that I could have pulled off a good Gollum because I can do an all right Venom, and I've made some kind of Gollum Joker. Oh, thank you very much. Okay.
Hey, Bo, I reckon that might be a bit of payback, mate, for AussieVerse, mate.
So you know what? I'll show you the second one that I made because this one wasn't so bad. Okay, so I stuffed up Gollum and I decided to go with Gandalf, and instead I've created some sort of cowboy man that says magic for life.
Oh, I love it.
Love
it.
Awesome.
And the first attempt was meant to be Gollum. Then it was the I don't know what the hell this is.
It's Gollum! Hell yeah.
It looks like
Be
Oscar the
proud.
Grouch and the Cowboys. So you just got two of our recent episodes.
But Bo,
not
we
the one
know
you're
who to
on.
blame for that,
Oh.
mate, don't we?
Hang on, and Dave, sorry, mate, I forgot. I learnt this from you the other night. As you can see, I know nothing about drawing whatsoever. And the other day, I saw you on a show talking about cross stitching.
Cross hatching.
Oh, yes.
But
Whatever a crossing it is. I did it.
Yeah,
Nice.
awesome. And you're wearing a Wolfpack t-shirt. Took me a second to work out. I was like, why do I recognize that? Wolfpack. Yeah. All right, Sis, should we talk about ourselves?
Hell yeah.
All right, mate. Let's click the button.
This poor person is looking through the newspaper for info on what projects our artists have been working on. And this lost individual is using a map to find where she can follow our artists on social media and buy their books. How about we save them the trouble and just tell them? We call this next segment shameless self-promotion.
Alrighty, Sis, what you got?
I've got a mouse that won't work. Okay, I have got Stellar Lands is in its last, I forgot to bring it up, but it's like 24 hours or something. It's so if you want to be part of bringing Stellar Lands to life, go to I'm in all the wrong places.
Stellarlands.comx.studio.
Stellarlands.comx.studio. So yeah, go grab it. It's part one of an epic sci-fi adventure where superheroes are alive in like a Star Wars type world. But they're all individual stories because they're all from different viewpoints, I guess you could say. So if you get one and you love it, great. If you get two and you love it, great. You don't even have to get one. Maybe she's in it. Who knows? But they're all self-contained stories, all 8 of them. So yeah, I just want to put that out there.
I grabbed it and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's an ending and the beginning.
There's an ending and a beginning. Holy moly.
Is there a middle? Or
There is a middle. That's makes it very rare.
You're so great.
So it's like steak. I made that joke too.
What do you mean too? That's a joke. That's a jab at me. Talking about jabs, there are lots of jabs in this book right here. All kinds of people get jabbed. I've been talking about it all week, so I won't hog the airwaves too long. But Ring Around the Rosie is on Instagram. No, it's on Kickstarter right this second at rosie.comx.studio. Lovingly put together by myself, Lee Chalker, Ben Sullivan, Ryan Vella. 28 pages of revenge seeking and a woman warrior who's avenging lost hope. What else is on said Kickstarter, Lee?
Well, we
So,
have
I had a question
by
about
Ryan Vella. What was that, Alex?
I had a question about Ring Around a Rosie, because I saw there's like a video as well. Isn't there like a little video promo you guys did with Ben Sullivan on YouTube that people can watch?
Oh, we haven't got that on here.
There is. We don't have it here, but yeah, I won't put people
sorry.
through the Ring Around the Rosie trailer on here only because I'm scared of driving them away. I've been talking about this thing so much. So let's put the spotlight on Lee and Ryan Vella for a sec as we talk about Battery Hen.
Battery Hen. Yes, that's Ryan Vella's solo work he's been working on for about the last year, and that's part of the Kickstarter as well. It's Ryan Vella's top-notch all Vella, 100% painted, multimedia, all that mixed media, all that sort of stuff. Well worth the read. One thing I do want to do, though, because I have also with Spedsy spent the week talking about Rosie and Battery Hen and Ryan Vella and Ben Sullivan, but I have not spoken about my mate Rob. Now, I would like to say a huge thank you to Rob, because behind the scenes, he has put the Kickstarter together. I know everyone's going on about the art and all that sort of stuff, and but I want to give how grateful I am to Rob and all the work that he's done and all the stuff that he's put together, because Rob is certainly a super talented dude, and I've seen it before, but from working with him and doing this project and the Kickstarter and all of the little in behind the scenes and stuff, mate, thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this the most enjoyable week, and I look forward to more, mate. So there you go, buddy. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Wasn't
And
okay. Thanks.
On the CRISPR can. Well, good, man.
Thanks, man.
All right. So the Fox and Hound issue 5 Kickstarter from NSK Comics. Yeah, a new issue. It's been a long time coming, but it's finally up and running. I think we've got 11 days left on the Kickstarter, and we're really close to hitting our goal. I'll post a link in the comments to where people can go to that, but you can also just hop on Kickstarter and search Fox and Hound. We're one of the first ones to pop up. Yeah, it's an interesting issue. One of our lead characters, Hound, has a very mysterious, shady past, and in this issue you get to find out some of what she's been through and some of what her history is. So if you've been following the series thus far, you don't want to miss this one. And plus you can get a whole bunch of other stuff with it, like there's t-shirts, there's standees, there's posters, there's also covers for the books, there's shot glasses, pens, like a whole bunch of stuff you can get just through the Kickstarter. So yeah, I'll post the link, and yeah, I think that's the main thing I'm going to plug.
Yeah, Chris, can I just pee in your pocket for a moment? So, like, I've scrolled through the Kickstarter, and I feel like I know your art pretty well, but I was blown away by the cover and some of the pages. Absolutely, like, you have leveled up.
Oh, thank you.
Incredible art. So, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, Nick and I have worked really, really hard on this one. We both, you know, it's been a long time coming, and yeah, we both just wanted it to be the absolute best that it could be. So, yeah, thank you very much.
No, you deserve it. Mr. Major.
Yes. What is it, Rob? How can I help you?
You know, we've got a couple more minutes. I thought you might.
Somebody's been trying to hack into my Facebook, and then my Instagram went all crazy as well, and all my images were gone for a while. So I've been sending people to Ichigo Smell. So if you're following me on one but not on the other, maybe my Ichigo Smell one is not as susceptible to. Well, I'm hoping somebody's not trying to hack into that one. So there's that. I'm also Nick's not here to promote Flyboys, so I'll do that. I've got a page in there, and a lot of other people do. Vermouth 4. Apparently, I saw the cover being done live, so I've got 3 pages in that. And then there's also Sizzle with Doug in the Multiverse. That's also, I have a page in that. And then upcoming Battery Hen in next year. I finished my page and sent it to Ryan. So I think he has 2 people already finished Battery Hen pages. So there you go. So that's, so you can see, so I'm contributing these 1 to 3 pages of stuff to a lot of people because I don't have the patience for a full comic and Kickstarters myself. Like all of you people, nice people here. And then also Chris has nice books as well. I've got a Fox and the Hound, and I can say it's not what I imagined because I used to be at Disney before, as I mentioned 29 times per episode, and that they have a different Fox and the Hound. But this is more interesting, so go for that. And then I think Ryan's got interesting stuff to talk about. So
just before we move on to Ryan, I just Fourth Rook asking about stretch goals. Not sure if he means Rosie, Stellar Lands, or Fox and Hound. So, Sis, have you got stretch goals going on for Stellar Lands?
Not at the moment. We're still figuring that out. So
yeah. Over at Rosie Town, we will be offering a free print, possibly even 2 if I have enough when all is said and done. I'd like to say that I'm saving those till we hit the 2,000 mark, but it's likely everyone's just going to get them anyway for because it's already exceeded our expectations. So I would like to reward everybody. Chris, do you know if Fox and Hound has stretch goals once you hit your funding?
So we've got a bunch. There's for $5,000 we've got extra art prints. For $6,000 we've got extra postcards for every backer. If we hit 7, it's signed copies for every backer. And then for $8,000, it's limited edition prints by an extra artist that we're bringing in. So yeah,
excellent, sweet. Over to you, Ryan.
I don't have a lot to talk about. The main thing that I'm doing with Cornerbox Comic Art that's coming up is Dean Rankine, his Untold Tales of I Hate Fairyland #1.
Yeah.
So we're doing limited edition signed and sketched and graded copies of that book through Cornerbox Comic Art. They're going to look super fancy. They're going to have a nice custom label. I'll be organizing those shortly. So they'll probably be, by the time they get back to me, an end of the year sort of thing. And hoping to be at Brisbane Oz Comic Con in September.
Oh, sweet. See you there.
Yeah. Dean Rankin is doing a signing actually this weekend. I'm just trying to double check if it is this weekend.
It is on Sunday.
Sunday,
All-Star
23rd.
Comics.
Yeah, All Star Comics from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. So if you're in Melbourne, check out an amazing artist. Always down for a chat and some awesome comics and signing your whatnots. Speaking of whatnots,
I'm excited about it because, just to add one more thing, it is going to be the first time that Dean's done this sort of thing. So like graded limited edition books. It's the first time he's done remarks on books before, and he, I was super excited that, as a lot of people have known, Dean's a busy guy. So most of the time, if you ask him to do extra work, he just doesn't have the time. But he was one of the first people who I went to about Cornerbox Comic Art when I was starting this thing. And then I went back to him and said, hey, you've got this book coming out. Do you want to do something really special with it? And he said yes. And so, yeah, for the first time ever, we're doing these super fancy editions. If you want to know more, you can send me a message. And yeah, cheers.
Awesome. Mr. Tung.
Yeah, like as usual, I'm on Instagram, Tom_Tung, and Facebook, TomTongComics. My daily comic goes up every weekday. In September, it'll be 10 years, so it'll be a big milestone. And if you actually want to find me, if you're in Melbourne on Saturday, the 5th of August, the Melbourne Comic Creators monthly meeting is on at the Clyde Hotel. It's open to anyone who makes comics or wants to make comics. And there's usually a pretty good crowd there talking about all things comics and pop culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really good time if you want to, find out how the hows and the whys and all that from other people who have been there, done that. Yeah, it's an awesome, advice slinging session. People will often show up with their books and show each other their work, and yeah, good times.
It's also
Speaking of good times, sorry, Dave.
I think it's just also an opportunity to catch up with each other as well.
It's a great chance. Like, we all splinter off. Sometimes we talk pop culture. Some people are drawing. Some people talking craft. Some people are troubleshooting. It's a really versatile. You can get what you want out of it.
Me?
You
can get me there. My stuff is at ownerindie.com. The ComX shop has my comics, and also Heroes Headquarters in Ballarat has my stuff as well in stock. Currently working on I can't remember. There's Amazing Tales number 7 or 8. I can't remember what I'm up to.
7.
Yeah, 7. I think 6 was the last one. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I've done one story for 8.
36. Oh, sorry, I thought we were throwing out numbers.
I've done one story for 8. I might have 2 stories for 8, but I'm working on 7. Or is it the other way around? Maybe it's 2 for 7, and I've nearly finished 8. I'm sort of doing a Gary Della, getting ahead of myself on one and leaving one behind. But anyway, over to Bo.
I actually really enjoyed your Beowulf, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Who said that?
Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. Good on you, mate. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, thanks very much.
I'm a classic literature nerd, so it hit all the right boxes for me.
Oh, thank you very much. You know, when I started working on that, I Googled the story on the internet, and I didn't realize there's probably about a dozen different versions on, different people have done it over the years. It even had its own series. I think Marvel or something might have done a series of them. Beowulf. Way back.
But there's only one Dave Dye version, mate.
That's right.
That's the only one that counts.
That's right, mate. That's right.
So anyway, that's why at the beginning I said, there's been a lot of versions of it, and that's why this one's another one, but it's my version. I tell you,
I liked it. It was accessible, so like you don't have to be a literature major to pick up your version of Beowulf and read it and understand it and get the gist of what's happening. Where I don't know if anyone else has tried to read the original Old English text. It's a text that you study. It's not a text that you like pick up and read for fun. So I'm all about when people take things like that. Maybe it's probably a good explanation as to why I preferred the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies over the books, is because it's so entry level. It takes a massive concept and sort of truncates it down into an accessible piece of literature.
I think you may find Beowulf may have been one of Tolkien's influences for the Lord of the Rings too, man, as he was an English literature professor.
Yeah, the Nordic, the Teutonic legends and things like that.
I reckon I once heard, sorry to interrupt, but another funny story about Tolkien and how cool that dude is. being an English literature professor, when he handed the books in, the editors were trying to tell him to make changes and stuff, and he was like, "No, I'm not changing anything." And they're like, "Well, you have to. You've got to." And he said, "I'm an English literature professor. Why would I listen to you?" You know. And I just thought, like, that's cool. Yeah, they stuck to his guns, man. You know, so.
Well,
I
Ryan,
remember,
sorry,
sorry,
before you, Ryan, I'd love if you could just send me an email with a couple of little comments, and I could love to put your comments in the next issue of Amazing Tales in the letter rip. I like to write feedback in the back there.
No, that'd be a
if you
pleasure.
don't mind,
More than happy to do that.
and I open that to everyone who's read it.
If you could email me some compliments as well, that'd be sweet. No, I remember
He doesn't
David
do it.
Hasselhoff originally wanted to adapt Beowulf, but it was so bogged down by studio notes, it ended up becoming Beowatch. Anyway, OmniBeau.
He's done it again.
Yes,
Where
sir.
can we find you, Mr. AussieVerse?
Yeah, right here. AussieVerse on YouTube, on Instagram, and all the other socials. Well, most of them. Some of them I don't bother with. I don't know what Snapchat is, so don't bother with that one. AussieVerse and all of them. Go for it. And thanks for also hooking me up, by the way, Spedsy, with Alex's password. I really appreciate it. I think the joke's over. I think he's getting a little upset now.
No. I'm just trying to figure out because I've got somebody during the show been attempting 2 times to log in, so it's a bit annoying. It's a bit.
Don't they know they're only going to find like about 100 DMs about farts? It's I don't know what they're trying to get into.
I don't know either, but yeah, they've been trying to. They're not getting into it because they just the double authentication. So I think it's somebody's using bots or machines. This is the best part of the show, just talking about this crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Well,
move on.
Speaking of bots, Alex has got a nice bot going on over there.
You can only
now,
see half of him.
Yeah,
know what I was-
sorry, I was feeding the cat. Sorry, my bad. I feed the cat.
you know what I was thinking? We all we celebrate each other's art, but someone who smashes it every single week, and I feel like we almost take him for granted, is Alex Major. Alex, you had signed off the after show, I think, last week when we were talking about maybe the week before Bryony May's animation and about Nick May wanting to pass on your comments. And then we just started talking about how awesome you are and how awesome your skills are. And we're so busy dancing and stuff to it. I don't think we praise you enough. So let's praise Alex now with some extra dancing as we take a look.
All of you can just send me an email as well, so I can reread the praise.
Hey. Yeah, very good, mate. Very good.
It's a big more fast.
Part of the new Ichigo series.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're getting a bit of a pattern.
Yeah, which you can hack right now on Instagram if you.
Oh,
Stellarlands,
nice.
Bows.
Battery end.
Yeah. Nice.
What was that one, Alex?
That one is Luffy, I think, from One Piece.
That was a cowboy night.
And Ichigo's fighting that one.
Those are the Bogan.
Yeah.
Sidrus.
Ah, Sidrus. Mine's buried.
With Paul London there.
Lana Luca.
Nice.
Dave Dies Lee.
Oh, yeah.
There's an alien just perving on her ass.
Night Fighter.
Bit of boy.
Who's that stuff?
Oh, Tom.
Who's that?
Questionable dancing.
Right, Alex, without Nick May here, it's all
Well,
on
without
you,
Nick
buddy.
May, it's going to be Bo's turn because he's got a good voice.
Bo, give it to us, mate.
The wrestling voice.
Everybody, please hit that like button and also subscribe. Like and subscribe. Help that algorithm so ComX can take over the world.
Woohoo! I mean, no, that's not it at all. Damn, you're onto me.
Gone off script, mate.
All right. Well, I believe that's been our show. Did we do it, Sis?
We did it, but I have another comment to say. Tomorrow, if you're in Mackay, there is the Mackay PopCon, or Mac PopCon, I think it's called. I don't know where it is. Somewhere in Mackay. Just walk around until you find it, and have a great time. So, yeah.
Also tomorrow, if you're near the microwave and watching a movie, popcorn. Have some popcorn.
Don't forget to pop into the Mackay Pop Fest thing and see Sean Craig and his new release of Blade Whip. So that's his launch tomorrow. So best of luck with that, mate. And
absolutely,
hope you sell trillions.
Trillions.
You know, trillions. I'd go higher, but I'm not very good with numbers.
You're aiming a little bit high there.
Oh, hey, mate, better to shoot for an eagle than land in the turkeys or whatever that old quote is, mate.
Can you imagine poor Doug at Comics on Demand? You want how many?
I think that might be. I don't think that'd be a problem that he'd have. You know, but he may like that problem. I would.
It's a good problem.
Yeah.
Jackie's enjoying my jokes. Thank you, Jackie. All right, so that's been our show for this week. Next week is. Did we decide, Sis? Next
We
week
did.
is number 99.
And
So
as
Beverly Hills
99, we are
Red
doing
Balloons.
2099 Marvel.
Hell yeah.
So you can draw the 2099 X-Men. You can draw Spider-Man. You can draw Hulk 2099. Anyone from the 2099 universe. As we talk all things, Marvel 2099, it'll be a shocking good time. What's that reference is?
No idea.
That's the F word in 2099 land.
Oh, really? I don't remember that far back.
Get around it, Sis. All right. And then next week, so that'll be the last of our Road to 100. And as everybody knows, rocking the Australian comic book industry, taking it by storm, is the Spedsy Awards. The first inaugural Spedsy Awards take place right here, episode 100. And the voting panel has been hard at work. And I'm going to name and shame everybody from right across this golden land. So if you want to take home the prestigious award, tune in. Yes, Alex.
Yeah, I've just got a question. If we're enjoying this whole Road to 100 thing, can we continue it after 100?
Oh, mate, the Road to 200 begins like the next day. So
the next week.
I still want to go back. I just want to see if we could turn backwards after 120 and then go back to 119, 118.
No.
All right. Anyways, I'm just throwing ideas out there. They said there's no stupid questions. I think I've proved there's people.
All right. Well, Sis, get ready with that button. Because I was speaking to Chris Pitcan before the show, and he said he wants to try out a new sign-off. So, Chris, hit him with your new catchphrase to take us home.
What? I don't remember this. Help!
That's awesome. I love it.
That was pretty good.
Someone should call the police.
Thanks, guys.
The show has been murdered. But in 1 week we will rebuild it. Better, stronger, faster. In the meantime, head to comx.shop and powder your chestnuts on a copy of Detective Budgie by Nick Cleary, Amazing Tales by Dave Dye, Vamoose by Nick May, Battle for Bustle by Lee Chalker, Radical by Ed Kearsley, Sluggish by Spedsy, Crimson and Rascal by Peter Wilson, ComX Presents featuring so many of the creators that have appeared on this show. And so much more. Alright Sis, press the button. End the show. Don't make me butter your biscuit. Sizzle, press the button. Sizzle? Sausage sizzle. #